So a split start here once again with the 21 starters. So as they come across, we will start to sort out. Looks like Morell's got a good position up there early. He's in the Knox colours. To the outside there, that is Bowers. Hadfield, we saw a breakthrough in the 1500 for Hadfield not long ago on this track. Caden Murray sitting nicely in the box there at the moment. So good pacing early here. So Morell leading it. Hadfield content just to sit back. I think DeConza might be the next position. Bunnage will be a factor in this race, we would expect. Another one to watch out for too will be Buckle from Bendigo University. So how are they looking down the back straight there, Mitch?
Well, they're looking pretty comfortable, Tim. I'll tell you, these boys more than happy to just let themselves sort it out by the looks of it for a few laps. Bailey Morell is going to be the one to lead it out, and not far behind, Luca DeConza as well might be the one who's going to lead out this little pack that's forming. So Morell, only a few metres, not a lot in it whatsoever through 400, but nicely strung out. So you would think that these boys might be able to put their foot on the gas maybe earlier. It could be championship racing at its finest. I've heard a lot about the finishing speed of Bowers, so watch out for him in that all red, all Scotch. But it is going to be Bailey Morell who leads them out through you, Tim, and they look really comfortable around here. I'm assuming they're looking the same around there.
They certainly are, and I think you're right on the nail with this one. I think this will be more of a championship race rather than a race for PBs. They know the conditions aren't great. Maybe a few down the back end of the field will be chasing those times, but up front, what they're thinking about is 1, 2, 3 positions on the podium. And at the moment, it's Morell just sort of playing around with his watch or doing something there at the moment, but his rhythm is good. Hadfield's looking nice and relaxed. So a lot of the main players already up there, aren't they, Mitch? And let's just see how this pans out over the next few laps.
Yeah, they are absolutely vibing right now, Tim. They are in no rush at all to be able to make moves, so they're all just going to watch each other out. Honestly, here in a lot of these junior races, it is everybody watching each other, but they need to be aware that they don't want to let Bailey Morell at the front there get too far away. I know it's early, but it only takes a little bit of confidence for somebody to be able to break this open. So you could throw a blanket over them right now. Honestly, boys could come from the back and come from anywhere. It's so early, but I cannot take my eyes off Bowers there in the all red colours of Old Scotch. He comes up on DeConza's shoulder there of St Kevin's, so he might be the one now to move around and start to reattach to Bailey Morell, who's looking smooth. He's got that big stride. He's got the good cadence, but as I said, I think I might have called it again. Here he comes now, Bowers, around you, Tim.
Certainly has, and there's some good moves there, but yeah, a lot of the players there. Alberson's there. Murray's had a breakthrough recently as well. He's sitting nicely in that 5th or 6th position. Then it starts to string out with a few of the Knox boys with Brandon Muscat in between. Then the Glen Huntley contingent bringing up the rear of the field there. But gee, they've really strung it out now. We might have been wrong, Mitch. They might be really putting it down early, and it might not be that bunch championship race. They're through 1 kilometre now, and now moving through to the 1.2.
Yeah, so now they're going to string it out here, Tim. So Bailey Morell still looking incredibly comfortable. So too are the boys around the back there. Camden Murray of Diamond Valley now also making his presence felt towards the middle section of that pack. So let's see if they can all stay strung out. I know it's broken up now. Now it's starting to ramp up. 3:03, I believe, through the first K, so still pretty fast, but it is going to be Bailey Morell looking incredibly comfortable. Bowers behind him. DeConza not too far away, and the rest of these boys are all beautifully strung out. A little bit of gap. Our athlete at the back there might just be starting to feel the pinch early, so this could be a pack for a while, Tim. They're all looking good as we start to see moves made from the back, and you'll have a better read of that than I do.
Yeah, I'm just watching guys like Bunnage, seeing what they're doing. Augustinus is also in there. Archibald Lawrence, another one to watch, the Deacon runner. The first of the Glen Huntley runners there. Let's try and pick him. I'll get him on the next way round, but it is still a nice bunch. It's really spread out. Look at the tallest figure there of Albertson and also Murray in the middle of that string as they go towards you, Mitch.
Yeah, so about 4:32 around there through the 1500. So these boys are definitely going to get cooking. They're all still looking comfortable. Looking really good there is Reese Hadfield with the hair tied back in the Knox Swagger colours. So these two Knox boys are going to work well. Obviously, Bowers in the middle of that sandwich. And now we're going to need to see our Glen Huntley athlete just tuck back in. If he can get on the back of our Mentone boy at the back of the pack, it's going to make the race a whole lot easier. So maybe he can lead through the other two behind him, but it is still going to be Bailey Morell. Well, he's done it from the gun. Obviously, he's more than happy to lead this pack through, and now it starts to dwindle down to 7, maybe 8, 9 or 10 can jump back on, but 7 looking comfortable coming through you there, Tim, but watch out for Bowers in second place. He's got great closing speed. He won't need it for a while, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's Belgrove from Glen Huntley, and he has done a good move to get on the back there. I think it's Bunnage just ahead of him. So Lawrence and Augustinus in next position. Then we've got Thrum next. Then the gap to the next group. That's mainly a few of the Knox boys, and that includes Brandon Muscat as well. But Bradley Hall, one of those. Also Eric Trinkle. Benjamin Collins through next, going past the Mornington Peninsula runner. But gee, I think this will just be watching each one drop every now and then. We're right on the 3-minute mark at the moment. 3-minute kilometres, just over now as they go through 2K in 6:03.
Yeah, and so these boys now are starting to make some moves. They were nicely strung out, but some people might be getting a little bit impatient. It looks like Caden Murray. And here he comes now. So he's gone right around our Diamond Valley athlete. So he's prepared to make this a race, not a championship one, but a fast one at that. So now these boys are going to have to make a decision. Are they just going to sit back and let the Diamond Valley athlete go? I believe it is Caden Murray. Will they let him go or will they chase? Hatfield is going to be the one to try and peg it back. Bowers sitting nicely behind him there. Morell, who's done a lot of the work, tucking back into third. And a lot of these boys are going to benefit from just sitting back towards the back there, Tim. So moves might be made over the next few laps from there.
Yeah, I'll just pop my head down and have a chat to Jazz D. I'll look up and Caden Murray's bolted. So that's the beauty of these races. And what's the response going to be? Hadfield's the one who's controlling the second pack. Morell, I wouldn't write off Morell yet too, because he is looking so comfortable. And as you say, some of the speed demons, you know, your Bunnages and Albertsons sitting in that next pack, and they are ready to launch. So early days, you know, just at that 2K mark for Caden Murray to take it. So he'll be coming around to the 2400, and as they hit the top straight coming around, that is halfway.
Yeah, and Caden Murray got a bit of oomph about him right now. He wants to know the gap of the pack behind him. I'll tell you now, Caden, it's about 10, 12 metres. Hadfield, though, isn't going to give you too much more than that. So we're going to see how these boys move around. We start to see some of them go out into lane 2 to be able to move through this field. So obviously these boys want to get moving. Matthew Buckell of Bendigo, he's the one now to make a move from the back. So the benefit of the sit from the back might be able to start to shine through now. Obviously Morell did a lot of work early. Now it's going to be Caden Murray who does the work. Hadfield being tucked in nicely. And obviously Bowers, who I mentioned has the wheels, is the one who's going to sit there in all red. So it's going to shape up over these next few laps here, Tim.
Yeah, I told you to watch out for Buckle, because I do like what I've seen of this young man lately. And the Bendigo University runner, he's the one who's making the inroads now to Murray. So I think that next pack seemed to be moving quickly, and I think Murray will come back to them within the next few strides. So Murray, Buckle, Hadfield, Bowers, the long, tall figure of Albertson, then DeLuca, then Morell, and then I think that's Bunnage at the rear of the main pack. So Buckle takes the lead. They're through the halfway mark.
Yeah, and Buckle looks determined on this back straight. He doesn't care if anyone goes with him. Hadfield might be the one to do it, though. He might be able to pull Bowers through. DeConza as well. And the man with number 19, Xavier Johnson, who we haven't spoken about much in the Mentone colours, looking really strong. So Caden Murray's done his job at the front. He's going to tuck in nicely around there. I really like the look of Johnson from Mentone. And DeConza, well, he's been pretty quiet at the back of that front pack. Obviously, they're going to give Buckell a little bit of room like they've done with everybody else, but can they peg it back? He did it for them. Who's going to do it for this next group? And here we go, Bowers. He's going to be the one to go to the front. So Hadfield gets the sit. Bowers doesn't want to give too much room to Buckell with the fastest seed time. And now, here we go. Grit your teeth, boys. It's time to start racing.
So much has changed in that last lap, hasn't it? You just look at the way they're coming together there. So yeah, Johnson's just made the move once again. So that's a good move there from Johnson. So deciding he wants to get into that medal position. So it looks like Murray might have run his race at this point. Hadfield, the question's now been asked of Reese Hadfield. Has he got the answer to it, Mitch? What do you think going down the back straight?
He's done a lot of work, Tim. I would also watch out for DeConza, who's just moved around. Hadfield now, can he get on the back of Johnson? But right now, Buckell, Bowers, they look strong. Johnson in third there. DeConza now goes around Hadfield. Murray might have done his run, but it's still early to tell. But right now, we got the two boys at the front. So, Buckell asked the question. Bowers had the answers. It's still not too far away for the next pack to be able to move up to, depending on what happens, depending on what the tactics are. But Buckell, Bowers, I would say that DeConza might be able to move past Johnson, and he's just about to do that now as he goes on his shoulder and moves past him. So, Buckell, Bowers, the man with the kick. Let's see how far ahead they can get, if at all, Tim.
Yeah, there's still about another 4 minutes plus to run. So still a long way, a long journey here for some of them. But DeConza has made a good move there, still pouncing or touching distance towards the lead too, but that gap is starting to grow. Johnson decides he's going to go with him. Hadfield then back, Caden Murray. Then we've got Bunnage, also Morrell. Gap then to Augustinus. Also Belgrove and a Lawrence.
Yeah, so Tim, they're coming past me now, and these two are still working incredibly well together. Bowers, look, he did try and bring the other rest of the pack with him, but he's been the only one to be able to latch on to Buckell, so these two are going to be a race here. Also, too, DeConza. Johnson still looking good. Hadfield not far away, so for the third place position, there's going to be a lot ramping around, but these two out in front, look, they've extended away. It's going to take a lot, I think, to bring it back, because they are the two strongest competitors in this field on paper, but that doesn't mean a lot when you got the heart on the race. So Buckell right now, Bowers behind him. He has run a 3K recently, Bowers, and he's done it quite fast at that. So Buckell, Bowers on his shoulder. Will he move around or wait till the end? We're going to have to wait and see. A few laps to go here, though, still to work it out.
Yep, 3 to go. So it's Buckle, Bowers, DeConza, Johnson to the outside of him. Gap then to Hadfield. Murray's just about to take over from him. That was Zach Dyer moving through, but a lap down. So next one along will be Bunnage, then Morrell, then up to Augustinus. So down the back straight now with no change in position. Buckle, I think Bowers is just quite content to sit there, Mitch.
Yeah, so these two still working incredibly nicely, coming up the back straight here, obviously with a kilometre to go. So it's going to be our Bendigo University athlete in front of our Scotch athlete right now. So they're looking smooth as they come through, but these two now working together too. DeConza, also too with that is going to be Johnson. So Johnson, DeConza, they're battling it out for third place. Still not too far away from first and second, but it's going to take a lot for Buckell and Bowers to move back to them. But they are going to work together well. So Buckell, Bowers, you can't miss the orange shoes and you can't miss the yellow singlet. Bowers, he sees Buckell take a little look over his shoulder. He might be asking him to do a little bit of work, but he's going to bide his time. So 2 laps to go as they come past you, Tim. There is not a lot separating them, and I will say that DeConza, he's pegged back a few metres on these front two.
So still together, Buckle, Bowers looking comfortable. But I tell you what, they're opening it up here. DeConza and Johnson are actually starting to bridge that gap. Caden Murray's still going along nicely. Looks like Hadfield's the next one to drop. So extending out to 5, probably not in the legs of Hadfield at the moment in his development. Murray is starting to move again quite nicely. But out front, gee, Buckle's doing the hard job. I think we're talking about runs of the day and gutsy performances, and what we're seeing from Matthew Buckle tonight is very impressive.
Yeah, they're making him do a lot of hard work here, Tim, but let me just say, Bowers now trying to get on the inside. DeConza, he has pegged it back 5 metres or so. So they're going to come around with 600 metres to go. It is not impossible that we see these 4 boys trying to swipe it out for the end. But as I mentioned at the start of the race, Bowers does have a phenomenal finish as he now moves around Buckell. So he's made him do a lot of work. And Bowers now, he's going to stride out. So 500 metres to go. Bower cranks up the pressure. So we're going to see if Buckell's got anything. He made him do a lot, so he might not have it in him. 450 to go, and like a racehorse down the home straight. 1 lap to go for Bowers, and Tim, he looks good.
He certainly does, and I think the race is won now. The interest now will be the medals, because Buckle is hurting. You've got Johnson back into this race. DeConza not being able to go with him. Can Johnson chase down Buckle? Can DeConza chase down Buckle? What will happen? It's going to be exciting down the back straight there, Mitch, but I think we know the winner from here.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and Bowers has a look around his shoulder to see if he's got the job done, and he can mark this one down as a tick, because he's certainly done that. The orange shoes aren't the only noticeable thing about him. He's going to have some bling to go with it. So Bowers, 200 metres to go. You've absolutely done it. Just hold it on. Right now we see Johnson, boom, out of the way. So Johnson into second place. Buckell's got to hold on for third if he can. De Conza, he's got a grimace on his face, but he could peg it back 200 metres to go. He's got to dig deep here. Bowers coming down that home straight though, Tim. He absolutely blew it out of the water from Buckell. Johnson's moved through nicely. He's going to settle in there for second, but it is going to be Bowers as he moves out to lane 3 along you, Tim.
Yeah, let's get behind Bowers here. What a race. Buckle still did so much of the work, but Bowers, strategic racing. Time's not that important tonight. He's got a Victorian Championship, so Bowers takes it. Great run, Johnson. Looked done and dusted. He came back in. Buckle will be on the dais. Good finish here. 4th place will go to De Conza. 5th to Murray. Some great championship racing here tonight. I think of all those names, most of them did lead at some stage. They all gave it a go. So some great running there. Congratulations, Bowers. Also, hats off to all of those top 5. And Hadfield as well. Impressive over shorter distances. And Hadfield, I think, when he moves properly to the 5K, will be a name to watch. Bailey and Morrell, very reliable. Did a lot of the early leading. So Bailey will come through in next position. Lawrence, I think, will come over the top of Augustinus, and then we'll have Bunnage next. And Brandon Muscat in the Western A's uniform. He'll be the next one to finish. So time check just over the 16-minute mark. I think that's Hall in next position. Belgrove from Glenn Huntley taking the next from Essendon. Regular at Milers Club, so good to see Brodie Frum stepping up to the 5,000 metres here on a warm night at Box Hill. And Collins will be next. And then it's a bit of a club race here. So Ben Collins is through. And then we've got Matthew Patton. Trinkle will be next, his Knox teammate. Finishing in lane 3. Yep, here we go. Thank you, Kevin.
Great way to close it out here. So well done to our final competitor of the men's under 20s 5,000 metres.